Hiya guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Sean Hills and welcome to A Soul's Experience, a channel dedicated to helping the human race remember who we really are. We are in some of the most exciting times ever on planet Earth. The whole universe is watching, and for those who aren't aware of what's going on, which is becoming less and less because there's so many of us who have awakened now. But it baffled me. I've got to tell you this, because it still gets to me a bit, but not really as much, because I've grown a lot through spirituality. But when I first awakened, and you first discover that death isn't real, that we don't die, that life continues after death, for one, to really discover that to be the truth, when you have spiritual experiences through meditation, some people just have spontaneous spiritual experiences, or through near-death experiences, through accidents, through trauma. People have left their body. I myself have left my body. I had a near-death experience when I was 6 years old. I have also left my body once through meditation, only once. But when you have these experiences, you realise that we are more than the body. Just that alone is like, you want to shout it from the rooftops. Wah! Then you discover Jesus Christ was a real person, Buddha and Babaji and Archangel Michael and Gabriel, all these people that you assumed, God themselves, these mystical creatures that you were led to believe that if, as a young person or growing up, that if you believed in any of this, you were some kind of outsider, you were outcast, you was a weirdo, you believed in fairy tales. So when you first discover all this stuff to be true, it's real, like eternal life is real. There is so much more to this world, because this world never made sense to any of us as a kid, did it? We were trying to work it out, the spider catches the fly, and then the thing will eat the spider, and then the cat will eat the thing, and then the dog will eat the cat, and then, the shark will eat the dog, the lion will eat everything. There seemed to be this circle of life. It made perfect sense in nature. And then it got to the human being, it was like, and then the human just dies. And I could never work that out as a kid. Where's our place? Okay, we're top of the food chain, so it gets to the human, and then nothing for eternity. Just gets to the human, nothing. There was no point in us being here. It was all a big accident. That just never made any sense. So when you first discover all this stuff, especially people that have had a near-death experience, that's probably one of the biggest ones that shocks the system. People that have been involved in me personally, I had an asthma attack, and ended up meeting an angel and a past relative who I didn't realise that was my uncle at the time until I got older. And my dad explained his brother had passed and was one of the old Rockefeller boys, like one of the old Teddy boys that used to have the swirly hair, and that's exactly who I saw up in the clouds. I wouldn't say I was in heaven, because I didn't make it that far. I had an asthma attack and then went unconscious, got rushed to the hospital by my neighbour, who was a taxi driver, a black taxi driver back in London. Luckily he was home, and my mum rushed me to the hospital where they saved my life. But in that time of being rushed to the hospital, I had a full-on argument with an angel with no wings, by the way. It was just head and shoulders of a blonde woman in a white robe coming out of the clouds. I had a full-on argument with her about how I did not want to come back to Earth because it was horrible down here. And but I'm here, 32 years later. I'm still here. Anyway, so when this stuff, when you know this stuff to be true, you just want to shout it from the rooftops. I went through that stage, and if you're just about to go if you're just going through a spiritual awakening, or you're starting to get interested in these kind of topics, then you're well on your way to asking them deeper questions, which means you've moved into the fourth frequency. Once you've come out of just believing in what you see, can touch and hear, this is third frequency living, 3D, the third dimension, height, width and depth, 3 dimensions. When you start asking them bigger questions, you're coming out of that, you're going into 4D. You're starting to realise that there's way more going on And then once you can start to actually live in the reality of a multi-dimensional plane, once you can actually start to use and manipulate the energies around you and work with the energy, because everything is energy and frequency, then you'll be living in the 5th frequency, which is where the human race is heading. This year is the catalyst, the big catalyst. There's an event that comes this year, and it's linked to 5 years ago. So if we know, I'm not going to say it in the videos, because anytime I mention the years, my videos get shadow banned, which leads me to believe I'm on the right track. And but there was a massive event 5 years ago that changed the whole world, and the whole world was affected. We all know what happened. That event is linked to something that happens this year. I've been meditating on it, I've been praying on it, and the way I see this year is like a butterfly, with June and July. This is the first time I'm putting it out there, what month. And most people that do predictions or have seen things, they don't want to put a specific time scale on things, but 100% this year there's a catalyst, and I see it unfolding as if June and July are the body of the butterfly, and it comes out and we're in the wings. So it kind of this year folds in to June and July, and them 8 weeks in June and July, I feel it in my very heart, in my soul of soul. I feel it is crazy, them 8 weeks, June and July, and then it folds back out into 2026, which goes into a golden line. So this year, it's the blooming of a flower, it's the painful birth of a child, it's the unfolding of the wings of the butterfly. It's insane. And if we can keep in mind, it's linked. All the years are linked. From 5 years ago it started, boom, the world changed. 2021, 22, 23, 24, it just builds up like a pressure pot. It builds up like a pressure pot, and then this year I hear a loud, long explosion. I've made like so many videos on this. It's a loud, long explosion, and then like a golden line all the way to 2057, with 2036 and 2039. Them 3 years are linked, something to do with the sun. I see a big yellow burning hot ball, which is 2036 to 2039, but that's still quite a way away. Something to do with the sun, that is. But first, this year, big event, which is going to be the catalyst to waking the rest of everyone else up. And that's where we come in, and we're already within our roles, and I'm going to get into that now. You see, it's been spoken about the waves of volunteers that have come to Earth, and Dolores Cannon spoke about 3 waves. I just think there's a continuous wave of souls, started back from the 60s. You know, the generations that have come in, just continuous waves of souls that have had to endure certain frequencies, the rising of the frequencies of Gaia, the rising of the frequencies of planet Earth, the rising of the frequencies of our very own souls, ourselves in this great universe. And then back in 2012, it really ramped up. We were starting to leave the age of Pisces and move directly into the age of Aquarius, which we are doing this year. It's not, it's never just a coincidence when songs are wrote, where stories are told. For thousands of years they have been talking about the age of Aquarius, and this very time that we're in 2025, the great awakening, the great shift. So where do you come in? Because I know that I'm feeling it, this impatience, this waiting, like this kind of underlying anxiety that the whole planet is feeling, that something big is about to happen. Well, the people that first come in, it was their job to kind of, the generation above us, people, I would say 45 and above, maybe 45 and above, 50 above. Them people were there to first just shock the system and say, we need change. These are the advocates, the go-getters, the people that first went out and said, yes, UFOs are real, yes, spirituality is a thing, Eastern medicine, there are better ways to heal ourselves than putting pills inside of our body. we can do this a different way. They were the ones that were called woo-woo conspiracy theorists, and they've been taking the brunt of spirituality for the past 60 odd years. And then there's the people of my generation, say 45 down to around 25 years old. We are the children of these amazing spiritual warriors, and it was our job to wake up in this very time so that we can anchor in the light and wake up those around us who haven't woken up yet to the beauty of unconditional love, eternal life, and the divine inside of this universe. Again, it is not a coincidence that so many of us have jumped onto YouTube to shout from the rooftops about spirituality, to try and anchor in that love, to show people that we're not all insane. How can millions of us, literally millions of us, all be going through a kind of unified psychosis at the same time? Unless the explanation is just the fact that this is the truth. It's very hard for someone to feel like, what do you mean all I have to be doing is anchoring in love right now and telling people about just the truth? That just seems like you're not doing enough, doesn't it? Well, the truth is, I get messages all of the time from people all over the world saying how these videos have helped them, how the right video found them for that very moment that they needed to see it. Now, this channel might be under 300 subs, but it is growing all the time. And for me, just getting messages, even though this channel isn't very big, knowing I get messages from Hawaii, messages from around the world, Scandinavia, Germany, Brazil. I get messages from all over the place saying I really needed to hear this message today. That is worth way more. It's priceless. It's worth more than 1 million subscribers. It's worth more than the universe could give me, because it's given me the one thing that we all need. It's that love. It's that confirmation that we're helping one another as a species. And that's what we're here to do. It's stepping into our soul purpose. Yeah, we might not be running around physically putting things into people's hands and being able to feed 1 million people. We might not have the funds to do that. We might just be struggling to look after ourselves at this moment, the way the economy is. But if we can send a loving message that is free, it comes from the heart, and it comes from a place of love, and it means more than money can buy, because money cannot buy you love, and that's a fact. So if we're anchoring in the light, what are the generation under us doing? Well, they're split. A lot of them are finding this awakening really, really tough. It's tough being a teenager and in your early 20s as it is. Imagining going through the energies of the planet, the chaos of the planet, and being a teenager at the same time. We need to give this young generation a bit of slack, because a lot of them are really traumatized by what's going on at the moment. And it comes out in violence, it comes out in drug uses, substance abuse, it comes out in all kinds of ways with young people. They don't know how to handle it. Fortunately, there are so many young souls that are being born with their knowing, their memories of their lives before, knowing God is real, knowing that the angels are all around us and we have guides and angels. This is common knowledge to a lot of young people, because they're born with that gift, they're born with the knowing. And this is where the human race is going, no longer being stuck behind the veil, being very much with no veil at all, and being connected back to the spirit world. So some of the young people are actually here to help us remember as well, and we can learn from them. So many of the young people, especially people with special needs, have developed telepathy as a way of communication, spiritual powers coming back online. And it has been said that the human body was not quite prepared for our spiritual gifts just yet, so it kind of fries the central nervous system. It's kind of like putting a computer system that was built for a computer in 2025 in an old Windows 95 PC. It's just going to crash the system a bit. And that's what we see with a lot of these new documentaries with these kids with severe cerebral palsy or severe mental health issues. They're actually really telepathic. They've actually got amazing spiritual gifts, but the body couldn't handle the gifts at the time. It was too high vibration, and it kind of messed up, so they couldn't function. The body couldn't function in the way it was supposed to, but nonetheless their spiritual gifts were spot on. their parents could literally write something on a piece of paper in the other room, and the kid would know what was written on that piece of paper 100% every single time. There's documentaries on this all over the place at the minute. It's blowing up. Telepathic kids, please go and have a look at it. It's just another bit of this great awakening. It's another bit of proof for all those people out there that are so skeptical. No, telepathy is just a load of bull. It's a load of BS. Go watch the documentary. It's like 5-6 kids all 100% doing telepathy. It's so amazing. And I think the biggest podcast on the planet right now has overtaken Joe Rogan, and is actually the telepathy podcast. It's actually to do with these gifts. So that's really crazy how the biggest podcast has now gone to spirituality. It's just another step in the Great Awakening. So we need to be there for each other. This is what all of these generations need to do. We are all united. We all have our place to play. So for those who are wondering, what are they doing? What, are they on their path? Yes, you are. We need to be very patient with ourselves. Give it the next few months. Things are going to get crazy. We need to ground ourselves, do our breath work, do our meditation, and exercise. Don't forget, we need to get physical and still stay motivated to do what we need to do in this physical plane. This world isn't going anywhere. There is no earth-killing asteroid that is going to happen. I see up to 2057 minimum. So believe me, this earth isn't going anywhere for a long time. We're going into a golden age, and we just need to hold that golden energy right now for each other. So on that note, I just want to thank you for being down here on earth with me and all of us at this great time of awakening. It's tough, but it is beautiful. If there's one thing we like on earth, it's a little bit of beauty. So please take care. Let's be kind to ourselves. Let's be patient. Let's be loving. Let's be grateful for what we have right now, because today is all we truly have. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps the message get out there of love and unity, and that's what this channel is all about. So till next time, please take care. Much love. Goodbye for now, and I will see you soon. Take care.
There's not much to do when all I can is thinking about you. Not doing well, don't know where you are, 'cause you're not here. It's been way too long.